So YouTube family, Dylan Edwards performed against Tennessee Martin. Him and that Kansas State team, they came through in the clutch, and the score was 6-41. And this was his touchdown right here.
Self up for success.
James was able to Morgan to get off the field under his own power, and there goes Dylan Edwards, touchdown, K-State.
They're almost the same, but just with
Celebrating.
Dylan Edwards coming out the
It's
backfield.
wonderful, isn't it?
They're almost the same, but
It's
just
wonderful.
with Dylan Edwards coming out the backfield.
He's celebrating. You're watching that highlight and you're thinking, my God, Dylan Edwards just shut everybody up. He just made Colorado fans embarrassed. Let's button up right quick because we're about to go in. I think I want to hear my theme song right quick. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start it.
Mama say it's my fault. It's my fault. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Niggas blessed up on my.
So watching this, seeing Dylan Edwards performing as where we expected him to perform. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, Dylan Edwards just played already and we were waiting for this day. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to see all that complaining he did and the things he called out. Was it gonna be different or the same like Colorado? But this thing over here is kind of tripping. Now, I did a video about Cormani McClain, and you know I'm not beefing with him or nothing like that, but I spoke the truth about how he picked the wrong team at Florida Gators after they just got dismantled by Miami Hurricanes, and there was no Cormani in the game. But we'll get to that on another video. Go check that out. Now, let's stick to this guy, Dylan Edwards. He's the guy that you get to see much that was being featured during the first couple of games in Colorado. He didn't like how other backs was getting more playing time than him. He left because he wanted to be the #1 guy when he left the team. Now, before I play the receipts as far as why I think he's a liar, he's disingenuous, I'm being respectful to that young king. Notice a different tone in my voice. If I'm in my backyard, I'm gonna go in. When we do this style of videos, only receipts will be used here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention to something as far as his stats. Now look at the stats here. Dylan Edwards rushing yards. He got 5 carries for 43 yards against Tennessee Martin. But he left to be the #1 running back. Remember, this is what he said. He wanted to play for a quarterback that was better. He threw Shedeur under the bus, but we're going to get to that. Don't worry about it. Look at the running backs ahead of this guy that's been playing outstanding. I watched the replay of that game, ins and out of it, over 30 minutes worth. And he barely even got the ball. He got it in garbage times. As far as look who they're playing, Tennessee Martin. No offense. You played against TCU and you balled out during your first game. You proved that the team as well with you accommodated each other. We see a drastic draw and drop. But if you guys don't know, he did score a touchdown in this game, a 15-yard touchdown.
Self up for success.
James was able to Morgan to get off the field under his own power, and there goes Dylan Edwards, touchdown, K-State.
He's celebrating, he's feeling good, but I started looking at the situation. You complained because Colorado didn't give you enough carries, the assignments they were giving you as far as Sean Lewis, which we got him out of here. I can't believe he got another job as a head coach now, which is wild to me, but you were a small running back and you looked at it as Prime and them were hating on you, but that was not the case. You couldn't convert most of those third down plays. You just couldn't. And they still gave you more features as far as plays and assignments. You got mad being utilized for blocking schemes or whatever. But I looked at this game versus Tennessee Martin, which they should have utilized you more. But that also lies the real truth right here. You're not their featured back. You're not their best back. In fact, you're barely their third string top back. That's what nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to get to because we have to protect the feelings of grown men who people are calling kids. Now, let's fast forward and go to some receipts and look at this. Look at how they're utilizing him mostly on blocking packages. That's what Dylan Edwards was being utilized in this fancy offense that caters to guys like him. Pay attention.
K-State.
I like it.
Follow the X. That's
Gonna
where
have to
Martin is at.
trademark
Look at
that
him.
before we get off the
Blocking
air.
plays
There's
mostly.
K-State.
Pay attention again.
I like it.
There he goes.
Gonna
Fake
have to
handoff.
trademark
Another
that
blocking
before we
play.
get off the air.
This was
There's
the whole night,
K-State.
ladies and gentlemen.
I like it.
The whole night. And if you think I'm lying, more receipts. It was the whole night like that.
4.
Look.
Avery.
He's wide open.
Now is gonna
More
roll
blocking
here
plays.
to the near
He was
4.
actually open to throw the ball to. Look at that.
Avery,
He's not being covered much by this guy here. He has
now
enough
is
speed to
gonna
get by.
roll here to the near 4. Avery.
Right. So we're going to pretend we didn't witness this man gets used as a crash dummy again. The very things he complained he left Colorado for. I wish him the best. This is a guy that's somewhat not overrated, but a little bit too much overhyped as far as we seen, as far as the season dwindled. He couldn't be utilized on main goal to go yards, such as 3rd and 4. Not even in 3rd and 1 conversions he was able to handle. Ladies and gentlemen, we need those big backs you've seen in the Ohio State transfer as far as Hayden. You see Miller, the freshman. You see a lot of guys. You see my guy, Charlie Offerdall, who really comes from the mud. Unlike your guy, Dylan Edwards, he went back home just like Kermani because their feelings was hurt. Offerdall was a transfer. Not a transfer. I'm sorry about that, even though he came for that. But, you know, he was a walk-on. He ended up getting this full scholarship. Your guy, Dylan Edwards, didn't want to perform. We heard a lot of coaches around Colorado who admitted to that, especially one of Deion Sanders' main man who have his own show. I forgot how to say his name. I think Feely. I'm messing up on his name right now. He admitted that Dylan didn't want to perform, just like the other running backs who left. They didn't want to compete, ladies and gentlemen. Real dogs are coming through. And I'm going to fast forward with more receipts, man. So pay attention as far as to Dylan Edwards award they're about to give to him. I want you guys to see, and I'm being sarcastic when I say they're going to give to him. He made the watch list, the Paul Honoring Award watch list. The only reason he made this watch list is to know things to other than Colorado and Deion Sanders. They actually featured him. Something that we don't see that's going to happen to him and for him at Kansas State at all. They got real dogs in the running back positions at Kansas State. They're solid. They're big running backs. They're just as fast as Dylan. Maybe Dylan might have a notch speed or more, but they're more skilled than Dylan. You guys don't want to tell the truth about that. Everything is Coach Deion Sanders' fault. So speaking of fault, I seen Dylan Edwards did an interview a month ago, and he tried to make it look like him and Shedeur is cool and all that. What he failed to tell you about that sit down with Shedeur, that was before he made this decision to transfer. Because we heard from Coach Feely and a lot of people that Dylan Edwards didn't even talk to the staff and let them know he was leaving. They had to find out like everybody else. And what made it worse, he didn't even call Sanders, the guy who coached him when he was a younger kid, the one he claims that feels like family. You didn't even hit him up, not even weeks and months later. So you do an interview a month before the season starts because you know you're not going to get to be this star that you think you are going to be, that you claim while you left to be the #1 running back. So you're trying to have a cushion. You know fans are going to throw you under the bus. I don't need to throw you under the bus. I just need to show receipts. Let's get to that interview because I'm sick of the feeling sorry for certain athletes who fail to grow up. Conditioned players such as Dylan Edwards. Maybe it's a father thing who failed him. I don't know. But this interview right here speaks volume to his character.
D1 playing. And, you know, just the spring was great, you know. My game has definitely matured. I know a lot more than I did my freshman year, and I'm smarter out there on the field.
Smarter.
How I play. And, you know, I had to sit down with Shedeur and just telling him, you know, my thoughts. And, you know,
that was 5 months ago.
He was just telling me to do what feels right, and I did what I felt was right.
I don't know. I have mixed opinions about the
D1 playing, and
I have mixed opinions too, and I'm gonna break that video down. But let's look at part 2 because this guy he's trying to make it look like him and Shedeur is cool. This was prior to him leaving the school. He didn't have an intestinal fortitude. He didn't show out during spring football. Other guys like Charlie Offerdahl outperformed him. He knew the writing was on the wall. He is not going to be the #1 featured running back. That's why he left Colorado and ran home. I like Cormani McClain, but you see more Cormani McClain ran home too. Bad decision to go back home just because it's home and nobody else really wanted you like that. They've seen what Dylan Edwards could offer after those first 3 games. It really went kaput. Not much people was after a Dylan Edwards. So you go back home where it's always available for you. It doesn't say much, but this is part 2 and what really irked me.
Make that decision to say, okay, I think I'm ready to move on from Colorado, and find a new fit. What went into that decision-making process?
I just did a lot of, thinking and soul searching, and I learned a lot about myself from the time I was gone and from, Kansas, and I just thought about it real hard, and I just felt like it was my best decision to, leave Colorado and do my own thing as far as go to a team that I know it would be good for me, a good fit for me.
Going to a team that I know would be a good fit for me. He's so passive aggressive, he refuses to just say Colorado wasn't a good fit for him. These are passive aggressive individuals, and I urge you people to beware of people like that. You may not like me, a lot of y'all like me. One thing I'm not gonna do is sugarcoat things. I just lay it out there and say what needs to be said. That's why I get to stand amongst people and I could care less about the chirping. See, you guys remind me of Dylan Edwards, passive aggressive, throwing shots at people, not taking any accountability. It's everybody else's fault. Kansas State is supposed to be the best for him. Look at his yards compared to the other running backs. Look at this man's yards, ladies and gentlemen. So I dare say he made somewhat of a mistake. Can we get into that? Can we get into that? He literally shown that he's just yapping at this point. He left for other reasons. He felt cheated. He felt his relationship with Deion Sanders earned him to be the #1 running back. Not that he earned it through work ethic. He thought connections would give it to him. See, that's what fails people in many different spectrums. I love Cormani McClain, but Cormani McClain suited up today, and it was like, why did he suit it up today? It made no sense at all. I don't think I got the video clip right now. I was going to show it, but forget about it. What was the reason he even showed himself out there today? A 41-17 dismantle, a failed coach in Billy Napier, which I pre-warned you guys about. Even the athletic director needs to be fired, and I'm a Florida Gators fan as well. So it's like, when you tell the truth about these guys, of course we know the people who love us telling the truth. If it don't apply, let it fly. But you get these slithering snakes, that is, who creep in the comment sections and, oh, wait till we catch you. And it's like, wait a minute. Over football, over my honest opinion, somebody should get hurt. Somebody should, not that I'm afraid of you weird, deranged psychos, but it gets to show you they're comfortable in a position where you lie to them to make them feel better. No, we're not going to do that. Dylan Edwards is far overrated. He couldn't even do as far as what he claimed he wanted to be, the #1 back against a Tennessee Martin. Can you imagine when he goes up against those real big dogs? Since everybody want to criticize Deion Sanders and priming them, just wait as the season goes along. Maybe Kansas State does better than Colorado football. I'm not saying Dylan Edwards sucks. I think he's a hell of a player. In my Floyd Mayweather voice, he's a hell of a player. You know what I mean? Problem is, he left for all these so-called reasons, but it's not happening at Kansas State. I thought you wanted to be featured. You wanted better quarterback play. Please calm down. Your quarterback compared to, you feel me, a real one in Shador, do I need to even argue? A lot of your quarterbacks have been leaving prior to you arriving. What makes this new franchise of a staff system you got over there is gonna pan out? But that there lies from talking to actual work ethic. Say what you want about Deion Sanders, but as much as this guy Dylan Edwards complained, look what Dylan Edwards got out of a Deion Sanders. You got to be in an award list. Where I was trying to look for it so I could put it back up, but you guys seen it already. He got an award, ladies and gentlemen, an award out of it, and now he doesn't even want to speak, credit, and say thank you. It's doing interviews as if he's some type of victim. This is Dylan Edwards, ladies and gentlemen, and don't worry about that watch list. He's gonna be out of it after the second game of the season. Remember I said that. After seeing them studs they got in a running back position, in that running back room, no way he even gets to be the second string. That's how serious I am about watch and see. And I don't wish nothing against him. It's just speaking volume and speaking facts. Facts are facts, ladies and gentlemen. Spare me your feelings, but I'll welcome your opinion. Your opinions are welcome. But if it's bizarre opinions that leads to attack, I'm going to let you know how I feel about you. Don't get to crying about it. We match energy with energy over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Bless One, the best one. Love your family, love your kids, and definitely indeed stay blessed.
Heart been broke so many times.